Coming to you live on Wall Street, I'm Rebecca Arena, and this is Behind the Buzz. Joining me today is Narbe Alexandrian and Eddie Lucarelli, President and CFO of Canopy Rivers. Welcome and thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Of course. So tell us a little bit more about Canopy Rivers and how it was formed and how it became a venture capital affiliate of Canopy Growth Corporation.
Yeah, so Canopy Rivers, as you know, is a venture capital affiliate of Canopy Growth, largest cannabis producer worldwide. The company was founded in April 2017. At the time, Bruce Linton, who was the CEO of Canopy Growth, was looking to make acquisitions within the space. He spoke to a lot of entrepreneurs, wanted to find companies that they could find operational control and acquire. Some operators were open to being acquired, some operators weren't. So Bruce had this ingenious thought why don't we take two shots at net and invest in and buy companies that want that operational control, but likewise invest in a minority stake through Canopy Rivers with strong operators that have different business model and want to attack the cannabis industry in a different way. So at that point in time, Canopy Rivers was born. Fast forward to now, we have just under $300 million of assets under management, and we have a portfolio across a wide variety of different areas of the value chain.
Would you like to add anything onto that?
No, I mean, it was a great description. I think it's a unique business model in a way because you usually don't see public companies that act as that corporate venture capital arm for a large organization. So it does give investors unique exposure to that sort of return. And, we're just incredibly thrilled to be doing this work.
So not only does Canopy Rivers invest, but you incubate. Tell us more about the support that you offer your portfolio companies.
Yeah, so I mean, we're not just a passive investor that's just sinking a financial return. We definitely want to be involved in helping those companies execute against their business plans, achieve their growth milestones, bring them to fruition. We have a lot of conviction in these companies. We want to see that value creation opportunity that we saw when we decided to get involved with them. So whether that means giving them general advice about manufacturing equipment or introducing them to the right supplier or the right customer or, identifying some of those areas of synergistic collaboration within our portfolio with other companies as well. We want to continue to offer that advice to them on a regular basis and make sure we're doing everything that we can to help them build their businesses alongside our own.
What is Canopy Rivers' motivation behind creating this cannabis ecosystem?
Yeah, so if you look at how the multi-state operators, the licensed producers in Canada, basic cultivation companies, how they're set out, they're mostly vertically integrated. And they're forced to be vertically integrated through the regulatory body who wants that one throat to choke when something goes wrong. In our view, in our research, anytime you look at an industry where vertical integration was forced by the regulatory bodies, there's inefficiencies that come into play. And we're seeing that happen live in the cannabis industry. There's some operators which are fantastic farmers but don't know how to build a brand, so they off-take cannabis to someone else. There's other companies that are only focused on brands and they can't build the product themselves, so they have to take the product from another company. In our view, if you break down the value chain, there's best of breed companies in every piece of that value chain. So we find those best of breed companies that are only focused on doing one thing very, very well, and hook them into the other companies that are doing the other piece of the value chain very, very well. And through that, you create an ecosystem where an input goes from one point in time, so farmhouse being our cultivator, that product goes through an extraction facility which is owned by us, a piece of it, and then that goes into a vaporization pen and retail channel, and then through a data intelligence platform being headset that brings that back to the brand itself. So that ecosystem is very powerful because what you do is you create a synthetic best of breed operator where you're doing everything very, very well, and it becomes a very strong company in itself. And on top of that, every one of our portfolio companies has the option to work with Canopy Growth. So if you're a small cultivation company and you need help with genetics, instead of hiring 4 PhDs, you can get that help from Canopy Growth. So there's a lot of strategic influence that we add to our portfolio companies, which we believe is our core differentiator compared to some of the other vehicles in the space. Generally, what we look for are companies that have a strong core differentiator, so something that creates a barrier of entry. So other competitors can't come into the same space. So whether that's a technological differentiation or first mover advantage or just a great product in comparison to the competition out there, that's one of the key attributes we look at because you have to think of the long term when you're investing into these businesses and how they can become billion-dollar businesses in of themselves. Second piece we look at are what's the product market fit. So how are the customers picking up on the product? What does traction look like? Sales, units, distribution, what type of partnerships does the company have? The third piece, which I think is the most important, are the operators. Who are the entrepreneurs behind the business? Who are the minds behind them? How do they come to becoming the operators of the business? How do they found the companies? What are their backgrounds, and what key differentiators do they bring from their past experiences? And anytime you look at these situations, your focus is on finding those repeat entrepreneurs who have done this before, who have built billion-dollar businesses and are coming back into the play and doing it over again.
On May 9th, you announced that one of your portfolio companies, Farmhouse, entered into its second supply agreement with Canopy Growth Corporation. Can you tell us a little bit more about that deal and how essential it was for Canopy Rivers?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, Farmhouse is a very strategic asset within our portfolio. We have a great joint venture partner there. They have international greenhouse-grown vegetable distribution operations throughout North America, parts of Central America, and parts of Europe as well. That offtake agreement that we announced with Canopy Growth last week, that took total offtake production for next year up to 50% overall for the facility. So it's a great milestone for de-risking that asset. That asset has incredible long-term potential in terms of the facility we're building out, the high level of automation that's going into that facility, and what that facility can mean for the broader supply picture in Canada going forward. So very excited about that announcement, very excited to have a great offtake partner in Canopy Growth, and looking forward to more things that Farmhouse is going to be able to do in the future.
And how do you see Canopy Rivers growing in the long term, and what should investors look for now?
Yeah, I mean, I think, the next 12 to 24 months is going to be an incredibly exciting time for Canopy Rivers. A lot of the businesses that we've invested in have been sort of going through this build-out phase over the recent past, and now during this calendar year, we're going to see them reach the end of those build-out phases and starting to see, meaningful revenue generation down the road. Also, the international opportunity is huge. We're hearing about regulatory reform happening all the time, whether it's new jurisdictions that are introducing frameworks or enhancing their existing frameworks. We're very lucky in terms of the fact that we have this business model that we were able to successfully deploy initially in Canada and have started to deploy internationally as well. And now we can take that and the operational knowledge we built and take it to these new jurisdictions where those opportunities are. And we're incredibly excited to execute against that going forward.